Now, I think one of the conventions by which we tend to be fooled more than almost any other is time. And for all human beings, time is a matter of extraordinary importance. And perhaps this is one of the principal ways in which we differ from animals. Because man has been called a time-binding animal. That is to say, a creature who is vividly aware of the fact that life moves, as it were, along a line from the past through the present and into the future. Animals apparently live pretty much moment by moment. They don't appear to have very strong memories. But because man has a strong memory, he is able to bear the past in mind and, as it were, cast it forward into visions of the future based upon what has happened in the past. And therefore, although this facility gives man the most extraordinary ability to plan his life, to prepare for future eventualities, at the same time, there is a very heavy price which he pays for it. Especially if he takes this ability too seriously. In other words, if he doesn't realize that the true reality in which he lives is the present moment now.
Describe the experience in one word: incredible.
Eye-opening.
Eye-opening.
Perspective.
Life-changing.
Transformational.
All-encompassing.
Sharpening.
Is surreal.
Whirlwind.
Adventure.
Crazy adventure.
Overspending.
Not over.
I would definitely say curious.
Humbling.
Diverse.
Fire. Drinking.
Cromulent.
Caring. Adventurous.
Invigorating.
Supportive.
Family is the best word.
For me, sure, it's family.
An environment that pushes me. It's not really one word, but you'll be able to edit that, I think.
Say very academic. There were lots of hands in the air in the first couple weeks of school.
First impression of the Fuego is just everybody is incredibly capable. I mean, minute one, people were on it, so dialed in. It's intimidating, but also really inspiring.
Everyone's just super fun and friendly.
I mean, everyone was wearing a suit and knew everything about everything, and so I think I was just like, fuck, people are intense.
Fire or trash. Someone different surprised me every day.
Smack, unsurprisingly.
Drew for talking all that shit about government and then joining it.
Eugene, really approachable, doing his little bob walk. You know, he's going to be this prolific doctor. He's Greek, he's Puerto Rican. I mean,
Maple for her incredible comedy night performance.
I will say Maple, because beneath that cheery Chinese exterior is a stone-cold killer inside.
Maple. She's savage. At EC Gala, she told me, "You did your hair yourself, didn't you?"
Favorite case for me was not Joe and the Juice, but Lian Feng from Tom. Not the sexiest, but the aggregation of supply and demand is pretty much my favorite thing.
One of the biggie cases about Zambia, China, and the IMF, it just was very funny to think about how a bunch of capitalists think about development models for very different countries depending on where they are. So that was a very interesting discussion for me.
It was the one about George Soros, where the guy just thought one day, hey, why don't I go and have the Bank of England go broke?
My favorite case, well, there's a lot of them. I'll say all of my cases were favorite, but can I say my favorite class? My favorite class was EGC, and so I would say the Goldfinger case.
Definitely Biggie, Weinzierl, and it was probably the 3 China cases that we did.
I don't remember cases.
I don't really have a favorite case. Is that weird?
This is an easy one, no doubt. Marketing, first semester, the plumbing case, Aquafina, and I hated it because it was based on the faulty and insulting and, you know what, offensive premise that British people don't shower.
Basically anything over 10 pages.
It's definitely Joe and the Juice. I think that was the only case where our professors had to apologize for the guest speaker.
It's definitely one of the Walmart cases. It's just too many Walmart cases. Sorry, Drew.
I actually cannot think of one that I hated.
It was definitely one of the Finn cases, but I try not to remember the gruesome details, so I can't tell you the name.
The yacht one, the boat one on Tom, mostly because I got cold called in front of my parents and I had no idea what was going on in that case. So that's the one.
So the happiest moment at HBS was leading the Columbia Trek and showing my section, my beautiful country.
Basically the springtime with all the cherry blossoms outside and my daughter with me.
It's the first Great Gatsby party with my wife.
I think it was in the second semester of RC when I first time made a skydeck presentation, and in the end of the presentation the whole section stood up and clapped for me.
One day Sushant came to the class without reading this wrong case and seeing his face, and he was almost cold, like the professor called his name, and seeing his face at that moment, like, you know, his angst was one of my happiest moments at HBS.
It's definitely going to Vegas with the F-Boys.
Oh man, it's gonna be like some cheesy, first day of meeting the section. Let me think about this, cut this one real quick.
Not to guide you too much, but did you get married?
Yeah, that's up there.
One was Mina straight up fangirling in the front row in Weinzierl's class, and him just completely overreacting in the best way, covering his face.
Probably everything Stanton did. TM.
I really enjoyed Mason doing Larry Culp.
In Germany, when Anthony and Mahek got lost at Oktoberfest.
During an EGC class, 10-page case. During the first 9 pages, protagonist was doing all kind of navigation of the gray area. Then in the last page, that guy forged some documents. I hadn't read the case. Teacher picks on me, and then I'm like, this guy's my idol. And then I look across the class and I see Donessi doing this. And when you see Donessi doing this, you know that you messed something up.
There's 2 actually. One is Maple's comedy routine at the HBS show a few weeks ago. That was awesome, Maple. And 2 is Maple's stand-up gig at the HBS comedy show the year before.
Recently when my grandfather passed away, he was 98 and I was so sad, so far away from him.
It was definitely tearing my Achilles tendon and having to crutch around the school. It's very handicap unfriendly school.
It was when I fell off the skateboard and broke my face. That was pretty devastating. But I think the follow-on saddest moment was when Chris Stanton called on me in class with the broken face and concussion. That was the train wreck.
Not a particular moment, but first semester of RC year. So I'm recalling my dad super stressed, crying, just couldn't believe how much work I had.
I just have this very visceral memory in the build-up to the Fin 1 final, just standing outside in the freezing cold, the howling wind, feeling so overwhelmed and just thinking that it might not be okay.
Probably when I was one of the 15 people who didn't have a Chase Sapphire Reserve card.
I would say the day I forgot to put hair gel before I went to class.
And my saddest moment at HBS was actually the same thing, which is going to Vegas with the F-Boys.
Every day that goes by and that brings us closer to the end.
I think maybe missing the forest for the tree sometimes. I forget that there's life outside the bubble.
I believe it could have been a better section mate, a better friend, a better sister, a better daughter during RC year.
Not letting more of my section mates to get to know me well. It was really hard to open up, and I really wish I would have done it.
I said no to a cold call in investment strategies. He was like, Emily, and I said no.
I think I could have balanced better how I spent my weekends in the first year between people from HBS, from my section, and like between my girlfriend.
I think the failure we had in the semifinals of the intramural basketball championship against Section J, and I feel like I didn't step up to the plate and provide the scoring punch needed to help us get over the top, and that was a big failure. And I'm sorry, guys.
And my biggest regret was not having a notebook where I could write all the key takeaways from classes and lectures we had.
Not doing enough small group dinners and impromptu weekend trips.
I regret worrying about stuff like anything. I mean, stuff works out.
A few, but I would say the number one is that I wish I slept more.
Could have played more poker and organized more poker nights. I think I regret that we didn't do it enough.
Making so many Walmart comments.
Not coming here single.
Nothing. If I were to do one thing differently, I would spend more one-on-one time with people both in and out of the section and take advantage of getting to know all the amazing people that are around me.
I think I would stress less about the little stuff and just try to enjoy the journey.
I will put less pressure on myself. Yeah.
I don't know.
I would focus more on my own business ideas instead of spending time recruiting and some stuff that weren't productive at all.
I would nurture thoughtful disagreement more from day one. I feel this is a very open space where you can just be yourself, and I felt in the beginning a bit afraid to really speak up.
Engage professors more. I think we have some of the most talented faculty in the world, and I wish, especially RC year, that I actually took the time to talk to them more.
I don't really think I'd do too much differently. I probably would actually just give in and buy a Canada Goose, stay a little bit warmer in the winter.
Spend less time in the sandwich line.
More ILAB, less shot.
Spend less time on cases.
Probably read a few more cases. No, actually, just joking.
I'm still deciding between should I have eaten more or less Tasty Burger.
Would have prepared for Tom on my birthday better.
I'd go to Yacht Week.
Honestly, not a thing. Had an amazing experience.
I'm thankful for my mom, who always supported me.
My parents, who've always supported me.
I'm grateful for my parents.
Sauce candies and therapy dogs.
Dear friend, and somebody I'm very thankful is Ben Sherman.
Leia.
Drew for having the energy to put Skydeck together every week.
EJ and our section leadership for doing so much for all of us.
Neil for doing good for the world while we got drunk at Brahman.
Aina, probably because I met her here.
My wife.
I'm most thankful for my wife. Without a doubt, I'm most thankful for my wife.
My family, most importantly my wife, Elizabeth, my good friends that I've made here, and the faculty and support staff, they are just amazing.
I feel tougher. I feel like I've been hardened a little bit, but in a good way. And also I'm just more willing and excited to talk to pretty much anyone, anywhere.
Just making myself more confident in being able to understand different areas outside my immediate area of expertise. I'm just being more curious about those areas too.
I think I'm just a lot more confident now, and I have a lot more wonderful friends from Section F.
I'm leaving with generally more confidence or self-confidence, whether it's making a statement and having an opinion, to questioning authority, even though I've always done that, but now I'm more confident.
I'm a lot more willing to talk about things I know absolutely nothing about.
So HBS has made me a lot more comfortable being uncomfortable, both inside and outside the classroom.
I think it broadened my perspective on the world a lot and helped me think a lot more about what kind of leader I want to be.
HBS made me dream bigger. Today I feel I can accomplish things I never thought I could do.
I've become much more independent and self-aware.
I'd say I'm more confident, more social, and I think I want more balance between my personal and career. Personal life and career, basically.
I've stopped pretending to be anything other than myself. It's been a really great change.
It made me realize that I really need glasses.
It's definitely changed the trajectory of my career and life. Everything's different now, so.
Well, I'd hope to not be bald or poor. That'd be nice for starters.
In the next 10 years, I'm trying to fill this wallet up.
Next 10 years, I want to become more grateful and patient.
I want to learn how to take care of my patients, but also to learn how to be a great friend.
I want to be a really great mom.
I hope to be a dad, so at some point I should probably grow up to do that.
Continuing to surround myself and learn and take so much from people from all sorts of different backgrounds with all different perspectives.
I think for me, I'd like to get more comfortable taking risks. So hopefully in 10 years, I'm doing wild things.
I think I hope I calm down a little bit, get a little bit more mature, more responsible.
I wish I could spend more time with my families. I want to be sure that I prioritize a lot of time for my family and I find a career that's aligned with my personal values.
I honestly don't know.
I want to learn to live life more in the present and try to plan my life less so that I can be more spontaneous and live in the moment.
My goodness, don't you remember when you went first to school? You went to kindergarten. And in kindergarten, the idea was to push along so that you could get into first grade. And then push along so that you could get into second grade, third grade, and so on, going up and up. And then you went to high school, and this was a great transition in life. And now the pressure is being put on. You must get ahead. You must go up the grades and finally be good enough to get to college. And then when you get to college, you're still going step by step up to the great moment in which you're ready to go out into the world. And then when you get out into this famous world comes the struggle for success in profession or business. And then, suddenly, when you're about 40 or 45 years old in the middle of life, you wake up one day and say, huh? I've arrived. And while it is of tremendous use for us to be able to look ahead and to plan, there is no use planning for a future, which when you get to it and it becomes a present, you won't be there. You'll be living in some other future which hasn't yet arrived. And so in this way, one is never able actually to inherit and enjoy the fruits of one's actions. You can't live at all unless you can live fully now.
Broke to Monday, something's not the same. Blank head, crossed eyes, sweep the floor. Feel your presence, in your absence, shut the door. Oh, oh, oh.